Hey folks, it's me, Craig Bielik. I'm in a library here for crowd surfing tonight. That's why I'm talking quietly, because I'm in a library like you should. Why am I in a library? Well, let me explain. It's the Weber County North Ogden Branch Library, and tonight they're having a Renaissance Fair. That's right, ye old Renaissance Fair. So grab your wench, grab your grog, grab your blade, and settle in for the Renaissance Fair. What's this all about? Stay with us, and you'll see. Come on into crowd surfing. I'm glad to have you here, and I forgot my library card. Can somebody loan me one? I don't even know. I probably let it expire. Yeah, I can't believe it. I'm at a Renaissance fair, and who would I run into but the harpist? An actual harpist named
Julie Hukin.
Julie, you and I were talking about this magnificent machine right back here. And look at you, you're all dressed out, all decked out in your Renaissance wear, looking very lovely and all that.
Well, thanks.
Is this what you usually wear to your harp gigs?
No, just Renaissance gigs.
That's what I figured. What is a young man in a V-neck t-shirt doing at the Renaissance Fair?
I'm going to be juggling.
You're a juggler. Yeah, now I've heard about you. You actually have quite a little reputation for yourself, young man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. How long have you been juggling?
I've been juggling for 7 years.
7 years, and you're like, what, 7.5 years old or something?
I'm 14.
You're 14, are you really? I was teasing you about that. You really don't look like you're 7 years old. How did you get started juggling? I mean, besides, like every little boy wants to juggle, right? At some point?
Yeah.
And then you all of a sudden said,
Well, I was on YouTube and I got a suggestion video to learn how to juggle in 5 minutes.
oh, is that right? So you looked at a YouTube video, learned how to juggle in 5 minutes. Did you learn?
Yeah.
In 5 minutes, really?
Maybe not quite 5 minutes, but I got hooked on juggling.
Yeah. We are at the North Ogden Library, Weber County Library in North Ogden, I guess I should say, for Renaissance Fair. And I just bumped into this guy, and there's just something about him that makes me think he's involved in the Renaissance Fair. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a vibe or something that you're pulling off. Who are you?
My name is Ron Lucero. We're from the group, it's called the SCA, Society for Creative Anachronisms. So we recreate the 14, or actually we create from about 400 AD to about 1600. And so what we do is we make garb that, represents period style garb. Three Musketeers is what you're seeing here is quite similar to Three Musketeers style.
So tell us about the harp. How did you start playing the harp? Did you wake up one morning and say, gosh, I sure would like to play the harp, or were you inspired by angels, or what?
I think I just remember always wanting one, so I kept asking my mom for one until she finally bought one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and you know what? We got to give it up for your mom right now, because buying a harp is not like going out and buying your kid a recorder or something like that. I mean, I'm not want to get too technical, but like, what does your average harp cost?
A concert harp's around, well, I think the cheapest one I ever saw was around $15,000. Most expensive I saw was $189,000.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that correctly. Did you say 15,000?
Yeah.
So, what do you like to juggle?
Balls, rings, and clubs mainly. I do some other things.
What's the strangest thing you've ever juggled? Have you ever juggled, like, I don't know, giraffes or something? I mean, I'm not sure I don't know what's weird to juggle, but what?
I've juggled a pair of garden tools before. They're pretty long.
Really? So like some hedge trimmers or something, huh?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So did you make this outfit then?
Actually, my wife made this outfit for me.
Okay.
Most of the belt I made myself, and a lot of the armor that we make that's 14th century armor we build and make ourselves.
Now, I hear you guys are going to give us a demonstration. Now, I've heard rumors of a sword fight. Is that?
There's going to be quite a bit of sword fighting going on the stage real shortly.
Sweet, man. In my opinion, everything is better with a sword fight.
Absolutely.
You take any movie, I mean, Schindler's List, whatever. You add a sword fight to it,
Yep.
Boom. And so you haul this around. I mean, with the 15,000, does it at least come with a case?
No, those are about $1,000, but I have a little wheel cart, and if you're careful, you can transport it easily. Yeah. Yeah.
And you do okay. So what is so fascinating about the harp? I know that a lot of people really love music, harp music. Like when you go to get a massage and stuff like that, a lot of times they're playing harp music. What's the deal with the harp?
I think it's just a sedating instrument. It's an instrument that's been around since the ancient Egyptian times, and despite dying out around the time the violin became popular, I don't know. I think the harp's just that awesome, and that's it.
So what is this? I don't want you to give away your particular secret to juggling, but what's the secret to juggling? Why can't I juggle, for instance? Because I really can't.
You need to practice more.
Practice is the whole thing, huh? Okay, well, let's see what you got. You've been talking a big game now. Let's see what's going on here.
I've got a pair of knives.
Okay, I'm going to step back.
Yeah.
Now, just so that you know, our swords are not sharp. They are a slogger sword. They have a little bit wider blade than your average fencing sword that you see in Olympic-style fencing. So it's just a little bit thicker blade. We smooth them off so that they don't have a sharp razor edge that you would have had in a real sword. And we blunt the ends so that we don't impale our friends when we're playing.
That is really cool because obviously if you were to kill all of your players, you'd dwindle in players pretty quick, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I am going to ask you to play, but before we get to that, I have to ask you another question. I mean, obviously you do this for a living and you do this for gigs. How can people find out about you?
I don't really know how people find out about me. Usually I just get phone calls to get booked for stuff, but oh man.
Well, do you have a website or anything?
No website.
They just hear the music floating through the clouds and they go, I'm following that music until I find that person.
I guess, I don't know.
Well, you were making me laugh because I was asking you, well, you've obviously played weddings and all of that sort of things. And I said, oh, and you've probably done a bachelor party or two. And that was a joke. But you said...
Oh, yeah. I once got booked for a bachelor party where they wanted traditional Elizabethan Tudor royal feast sort of thing. And basically, I was one of the entertainers they wanted. They wanted actors, sword fighters, a harpist, and yeah, luckily it involved me actually playing and singing and not pole dancing on the column or anything.
That's correct. They hired other people for wenches, they call them.
Yep.
Something like that. I am not going to ask him questions while he's juggling knives. Well, you know what? We're going to talk more with you guys, and we're going to watch your performance and all that. But obviously, there's going to be people out there right now going, hey, hot diggity dog, how can I get in on this? How can I learn more about these guys? How can I get me a sword? That's what they're asking. Tell them.
No, we'll tell them how to do it. Right, yeah. So we have a local group here in Ogden that is called the Barony of Griffin's Lair. We have about 80 people approximately on our lists. We practice at the Presbyterian Church on 28th Street every Thursday night. There's a gymnasium over there. Depending on how much you want to travel, we have events almost every weekend.
Could we sample a little bit of your music? I know you're about to perform and everything, and I don't want to give you the jitters or anything, but would you mind playing a piece for us?
Sure, why not?
Why not? That's what we're here for, right? Okay, guys, this is Julia on the harp. Now, look, you did not probably realize, but you need feet to play the harp also, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What is this piece?
The Queen's March. Don't ask me which funeral march for which queen, but it was a Queen Mary.
Oh, I'll know. Well, the second you play it, I'll know which Queen's March it is, I promise you. I'm very up on this stuff.
Okay.
Are you serious? Okay, stop for a second. Are those like real knives? Like, these are real knives, folks, okay? Don't try this at home. In fact, don't try this anywhere. School, work, anywhere like that. Real knives. And your mother gave you permission to juggle real knives?
Sort of.
The Barony of Griffin's Lair is actually part of a kingdom, and that kingdom encompasses all of Idaho, Utah, and Montana. and it's called the Kingdom of Artemisia. So that kingdom is ruled by a king and queen.
Of course.
Of course. And the king and queen is two individuals. Usually the king wins his right to be king by a right of arms in a tournament.
Sweet. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the year 2015, right?
Yeah, 2015. But we're actually going back to the 14th century, 13th century, depending on what persona they're playing. Even some of them play Vikings, some play Romans, some will play even as far back as Greeks.
All right. Well, what else you got? You got some clubs, and so you've got 3 knives, and so can you juggle up to well, there's 5 clubs on the ground. Can you juggle all 5?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to?
Absolutely. That's what we asked for. Check it out, folks. This young man is 14 years old, and he is juggling like this.
We have French and English and Irishmen and Scotchmen, and we have a whole variety of history that we study and research.
This is so cool, and you look wonderful. You know what? You guys really do. This is a ton of information. Honey, can I have a sword, please? Can we talk to my wife and see if you can get me...
We can see if we can work something out.
Before I end my interview with you, and like I say, we're going to get more out of you guys. Just say it one time for me. My name is Iñejo Montoya. Kill my son. Kill my father.
Well, how about this? My name is Azir de la Serra. I am a Spaniard.
I didn't kill your father. I didn't kill your father, so don't kill me, okay?
Okay.
This is wonderful. Thank you for your time. And again, we're going to keep watching, folks, because we got way more coming up with these
guys. We'll have a large group visiting with us today, and we'll get them all dressed up, and everybody be looking really good. And we'll introduce you to some more of our people.
Sweet!
Hey, Craig, keep it down, will you? This is a library. What can I say? Some people you just can't help.
I dare say that if and the big finish with the catch on that kind of thing. Well, you know what? I'll bet there's people out there looking at you right now going, you know what? I need that guy at my son's birthday party, or I need him at my, I don't know, funeral or something like that. Something like that. How do people find out about you?
Well, you can find me performing in various places, and also I have a YouTube channel, Christopher Hosser.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you're going to have to spell Hosser, or most people aren't going to know how to do that.
Okay, it's H-A-A-S-E-R.
S-E-R, okay.
Okay, you ready? Lay on.
Ye Old Renaissance Fair at the Weber County North Branch Library, and I bump into this nice gentleman who, there's a lot of questions I want to ask you.
Okay, lots.
First off, who are you?
Don Corazón, a su servicio.
I do not know what you said, but that's okay. All right, couple of things. Do you make your own costume?
I do. My sister-in-law helped me with the tabard, but we do make our own gear.
Okay, so obviously there's a reason there is this rose right here. What would that be?
This rose is from the Terra Silva Group. We are the company of the rose, and so that's our emblem for the Terra Silva from Farmington.
I see. Man, I'll tell you what, there is nothing sexier than a woman with a sword. I am not kidding.
Why, thank you.
And that is a horrible way to start an interview and everything. I am so sorry. Tell me who you are and what you're doing.
Well, in the real world, my name is Holly Johnson, and I'm a personal trainer. But on the weekends, when I get done making people do planks and burpees and other things they really don't want to do, I have to get out my aggression somehow. So I took this up.
And man, you are decked out. I've just noticed this leather collar right there. Now, that was a traditional thing, probably to keep you from getting your throat cut, right?
It is. It's very effective right now. It has a steel band in there to keep me from getting injured in any kind of a melee we have.
Oh yeah, and you know these kind of things happen in the library all the time. Anytime you come to the library, you should be having a steel throat collar on. You really should.
Good protection for whatever happens.
That is. And so you're part of what group?
The group is called Terra Silva. We meet in the Woodland Park in Farmington, where the Order of the Rose is our company, our fencing company, but we are also part of the Kingdom of Artemisia. And I live in Ogden, so I also join Griffin's Lair and participate with them when I can.
I've been fighting for about 13 years.
Seriously?
Yeah, 13 years. I don't have quite as many tournaments under my belt as some of the gentlemen, but I'm a 2-time baronial rapier champion, and I finaled in the Femme Fatale, which was a women's only tournament at one of our big events, Uprising, this year. Yeah. I'm also head of a very small rapier squad. There's a total of 4 of us. They refer to us as the Dutch Mafia.
That's right. We're here for your wooden shoes.
No, chocolate. And if the Spanish would just behave themselves, all would be well. That's what this is all about. If you notice to this day, the Dutch Olympic team wears orange, even though the Dutch flag is red, white, and blue.
There you have it, folks. You know what? If a beautiful young woman playing absolutely wonderful music on a harp in a gorgeous dress is not your idea of good television, then don't watch our show anymore, okay? Thank you so much, Julie.
You're welcome.
Where did you get a sword? Where does a person come across a sword?
Swords are obtained online is probably your easiest bet, but there are a lot of places that sell nice fencing gear and equipment that we can use today and do it safely and well.
Okay, and a lot of people, I'm glad you mentioned fencing, because a lot of people think that anybody can fence, right? I mean, it's a sword fight, right? We've all done that as kids and all that kind of stuff. There's way more to fencing than that, right?
It depends on what kind of fencing you want to do, but absolutely, fencing is a technique and a skill. We are studying some of the masters from Holland, from Spain, from Italy, and learning their techniques and utilizing them in our fighting today.
Orange goes back to the 16th century with a gentleman known as William of Orange. He was the Prince of Nassau, and he was the protege of Carlos V of Spain. Well, when Philip inherited the Spanish throne from his father, he decided that he wanted to make all his Dutch heretics toe the line. And you don't boss Dutchmen around.
That's right. That's right.
So,
you know the old saying, right? You can tell someone who's Dutch, but
you can't tell us much.
I remember that.
My own great grandmother and grandmother were from the Netherlands.
Oh. Be with you down every road you run. You're supposed to say run. You're my
Run.
Now you've made me forget all the lyrics. Here we go. Okay, now let me try and see if I can actually remember this. All right. Be courageous and be brave. And in my heart you'll always stay
Forever young.
Oh man, I've been singing.
Together.
Forever young. This is the funnest. Oh, it's a dog pound. They're getting calls right now from there's an animal out there. He's injured. It sounds horrible.
I have a friend who is teaching us to bolt, the to bolt style, from a Dutch master who learned.
To bolt? Is that what you said?
To bolt is his name.
I can tell you right now, if a sword fight starts, I'm gonna learn to bolt. Okay, I'm gonna get out of there as fast. But that's not what it is, right?
No, it's a variation of the Spanish fencing style by a Dutch master. He focuses on keeping the blade far away from yourself and using techniques that keep you safe, at the same time giving you opportunities to really reach out and touch your opponent.
That's right, because that's what it's about, man. There's no point in sword fighting if you can't like really get in there and stab somebody.
That's it. Reach out and touch somebody. This is the best way to do it.
William of Orange was one of the main proponents of Dutch independence and was so good at it that the Spanish had him assassinated.
Really?
Yes. The reason carrots are orange, we bred them in memory of William.
Really?
In fact, the Dutch national anthem, Het Wilhelmus, is all spoken from the point of William of Orange.
Really?
It is. Basically, the first line is, I am William of Orange. I am of Dutch blood. I have always respected the King of Spain. And it basically goes through his entire story of, okay, yes, I was raised right, yes, I respected it, but right is right, wrong is wrong, and when people require freedom, they have to stand up for it. That's the general idea of it. And so even today, the orange is worn by the Dutch Olympic teams, and
there you have it.
the pride.
Did you folks, when you tuned in tonight, have any idea you were going to get such a Dutch history lesson? This is incredible. Forever young. You know any other Rod Stewart songs?
Not
Hot legs, you're wearing me out.
No, sir.
Oh, Maggie, I wished I'd never.
Never heard your name.
There you go.
No,
Pretty close.
it's not the.
Notice I've never seen your face.
Yes.
Apparently Maggie was pretty ugly.
Yes.
No, not at all. How about?
He has to get back to school because Maggie did him dirt.
I know. Oh, come on. There's a million Rod Stewart songs. You've got to know. Do you know, what is it? I'm trying to think. There's, people get ready. There's a train a-coming. I know that one. Okay,
Back to
how
Maggie.
about... Okay, so
Everybody
Maggie...
knows Maggie.
Yeah. My favorite part of this evening is going to be watching you go through this metal detector right there. I mean, how are you going to do it? Are you going to, like, hold it above your head? Or, I mean...
Fortunately, it's a magnetic detector for books instead of a metal detector.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've tried that before. Well, you better not try to steal any books either, buddy, because you can hide a bunch under that tunic or whatever you call it, but don't do it, all right?
Not a problem.
Never trust a Spaniard, they target.
Yeah, good.
My name in the SCA is the Honorable Lady Johanna Katrein de Weyer. And I was born December 11th, 1572 in the Friesland province of Holland.
You look marvelous for someone that was born in 1572. I mean, you really do.
Immortal.
You really do. I mean, I can't do the math on that, but what is that, like 500 and something years?
And 42, almost 543. So,
Your social security number was like 1.
yeah, something like that, although it was years older than I am. But see, that's the beauty of these kind of weapons is that they're not strictly a strength weapon. Ladies can handle these as well as men. They don't weigh very much. If you want to, you can feel it.
You know what? I really do. I have,
Finger over the
man.
quillion.
Finger over the what?
Over the quillion, the cross guard. Put it
Ow.
over. No,
Like
right
there?
in there.
That's how you do that?
Yeah, that's how
and
you
that's
hold
a
it.
quillion? Mm-hmm. You know what? I feel so empowered at this moment. I think there's a 7-Eleven across the street. I think I'm going to go rob it with my sword.
No, this belongs to me, and I don't want it traced back to me. It's pretty distinctive.
And my cup is cold, and I'm being told I got to get back to work. Remember that one? No. You wear it well.
Yes.
A little old-fashioned, but that's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is the only time I've ever sang and anyone has said thank you. What is your name and why are...
We have to
Now here's the thing, folks. I'm not singing these songs for no reason, because when I walked in, what did you say to me?
I said, "Hi, Rod."
First you said, "Get out," but then after that you said, "Hi, Rod," because I look like...
Rod Stewart, of course.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
That's right. Rod Stewart probably doesn't come in the library a lot.
I haven't seen him lately. Till tonight. It's good to have you back. We've missed you here.
What's the best part of doing all this?
It's fun. It's invigorating and it's good exercise. At the same time, it's fun to adopt a persona that's not your own and to study their lifestyle and understand what they did and how they survived.
Yeah. Because when I asked you your name, you gave me some big old long name, and I have a feeling that's not your name. Because I mean, you look more like, Bert Smith or something like that. But say your name again.
In the company, my name is Don Corazon.
Isn't corazon a heart or love?
Excellent, it is. It's heart.
Yeah, so you're Don of Love.
I am. That's it.
Well, I love it, Dawn of Love. Thank you for taking time. We're going to watch you. Okay, we're going to be watching, and honestly, quite honestly, our studio audience is going to be judging your fencing, so you better be on your game tonight.
Hey, I'll be out there to have some fun. It'll look good.
There you go. There you go, folks. Sword fights on television. This is great.
Thank you so much.
Well, now, you used a term that I'll bet a lot of people out there are not very familiar with, and that's rapier.
Yes, that is the technical term for this type of weapon. It's a little bit different, if you can't tell, from a fencing saber or foil, in that the blade is heavier. It's a Schlager type blade, as was mentioned previously. It's used, they originated in Germany as part of the Mensur, which is a crazy German sword sport where the blades are actually sharp, and the idea is to stand your ground and cut the other guy.
I thought that was always the idea in sword fight.
Well, it is, but they're actually proud of their scars, whereas we're trying to avoid them.
It is a contact sport. There is a slight risk of injury. She may need to walk that one off.
So I've got a question for you. A lot of people think libraries are dead or whatever, and I have been watching the parade of people come through this door tonight. It's Monday night.
It's very active.
Yeah.
We have programs, and more programs.
How many books?
Everybody's happy.
How many books or whatever do you think you? How many items do you check out each day? Do you think?
Bazillions, but I couldn't give you a round number. But we have.
Bazillion is round enough.
Yes, we have DVDs, we have books on tape, we have magazines that check out from the branch libraries, not from the main. We have, of course, books, and many books. And the thing that is really popular but doesn't check out, all our computers. Very, very popular.
This type of blade is called a rapier. It's an evolution. It evolved rather into your modern fencing weapons. So it's lighter, it's faster than a broadsword, and it's more of a thrusting weapon. Although it does have a cutting edge.
Okay.
So if I'm fighting, I can either poke someone with the tip.
Yeah.
I can. Sarah, can I steal my daughter? This is my daughter.
Oh, okay. Sarah, will you come over here so we can stab you?
A dragon. So if I come in and I stab her this way, I can also do what's called a tip cut, which is like that. I can also do what's called a draw cut or a push cut, because if you notice, I'm either pulling it back, which is a draw cut, or I push it forward, which is a push cut. However, hacking is not done because these are so stiff we could break ribs.
Oh, are you okay, Sarah? Because, I remember when my mom used to, slash me with swords. And that's a common thing.
When she was 3 years old, she would steal my dagger. and she actually ran out onto the fencing field holding my dagger high, snapped a beautiful salute, and stabbed Azir in the knee with it.
Now, wait a minute. You had a 3-year-old and you had a dagger laying around or something like that?
We start them early. It's much like the Addams Family in that.
People doing research, people doing Facebook, and everything in between.
Everything.
Job searches and
Looking up Rod Stewart songs.
and looking up Rod Stewart songs and listening to them too.
Yep. Are you ready?
Yes.
You led me away from school.
Just to keep even being cool. I don't remember.
You stole my heart, and that's a pain I can do.
Without.
Very good.
No, it's terrible. This impromptu stuff doesn't work well, Rick.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen, her and I are going to practice, and we're going to be back, and you are going to say, "That's amazing." You were like this entire library in one brain.
I'm not really, but I also participate in jousting in the SCA with horses, armor, lances. It's not quite as hardcore as some of the things you see at the Renaissance fairs, but it's a good place to start. It's open to pretty much anyone, and come out. We're trying to get an equestrian program going down here as well. You do have to be 18 to joust, but there's other sports you can do on horseback too.
Well, is that your phone ringing?
Yes.
You have a.
It's actually.
It's, you know what? It's
infernal thing of Da Vinci.
It's probably Henry V or something calling to see if you want to meet up later for grog.
I don't know if he wants to meet up later for grog, although we did bring the chocolate.
This is so fun. This has been a riot. Okay, off you go. Off you go. Look, you're being beckoned.
Yeah.
It's sword fighting time.
That arm, both of them. I'm running away.
Well, I'm still being quiet because we are in the library after all. This has been a lot of fun. Didn't you think so? Coming out the Renaissance Fair? Check out all the things that the Weber County Library has to offer. Go to their website and check it out. They're more than just books. They're magazines, they're DVDs, they're video, they're everything you need. And they're fun stuff like this. Man, I'm up next. I'm going to go sword fight. We'll see you later. I mean, maybe.